Good afternoon. This is Stephen Kelly. I'm happy to be able to join you at the conference today. Um, and I was pleased and honored to be asked to provide a few words from an international perspective about how we're coming back from this coronavirus challenge we've had. And so the question is, has this really been a blow to our profession, or is it an opportunity for us as consultants? I'm going to talk first generally about some things on the international side about the impacts, and then spend the rest of the time talking about how we can approach it coming out of this. As you see here, it's been a big impact on the global consulting industry. About a 19% drop around the world of $30 billion in the last year. And as you see, looking at the different markets, Europe has had the highest decline, almost 28%. And but even Africa has, although it's a smaller consulting market, it's been a 14% drop, and different countries obviously are different. So certainly impacts. As well, when we talk about looking at different types of industries and percent change in revenue, decline in revenue, we see that certain industries have been much higher risk, such as healthcare, energy, resources, and business services, and even the public sector, while others have been not as strongly affected by this, by the decline in the shutdowns. Now, when we look at the impact of the coronavirus on project work, as you see, this is a survey with 1,000 respondents in 20 plus countries, a lot of them in Europe. And you see that although there were only a few, 22%, that talked about no impact, in fact, there were a great amount of things happening in terms of postponements, suspensions, cancellations, these sorts of things. And about almost a quarter began running the project remote. So there was work going on during this time, and even some small opportunities. Now, along with those, even with those opportunities at the time, there was a big expected decrease in earnings. If we look by industry, obviously travel and leisure hit the hardest in terms of consulting, and going down into more of agriculture, chemicals, these sorts of things, pharmacy, that kept moving along. And then when we look at functions, hardest hit were in areas of market research and operations, and less impact as we went down into things such as finances. And so, but still big decreases in earnings. Now, how did independent consultants from the survey adapt during this? As you see, a wide variety of approaches to adaptation. 43% update the offers, kind of take this time to regroup and get prepared going forward. 45% saying, I'll just take the time and pursue things I haven't had time for in the past. Very interesting. And this could be a time for education. Almost a third looking at projects outside their normal scope of activity. Only a very small amount that have decided that they wouldn't work as an independent consultant any longer. And about almost a quarter said, I won't change anything. So a wide range of adaptations during the actual crisis. Now, given that and the results of your own survey within Rwanda, say, how do we go moving forward into 2021 and beyond? And so here we are considering things. How do we adapt to the new normal as we identify what that new normal is? And how do we build our agility as consultants and sustainability for our practices? And finally, how do we go about leveraging our own experience and the new uses of technology to help us rebuild our businesses. Now, Gartner has done some research and identified various trends in the workplace. I've selected some of the ones I think have the most impact on consulting work. As you see, as we all know, remote working is really here to stay. And so that's going to require all of us to get stronger competencies in digital collaboration and experience, just as we're doing today on this particular online conference. As well, there's going to be anticipated greater use of contingent workers, or this would mean short-term or part-time workers, to ensure greater flexibility among our clients. This can be an opportunity for all of us to be able to, in some cases where we can't get traditional consulting agreements, we might be able to go in for longer-term contracting assignments to support some of our clients in longer-term supporting their staff with our own skills and expertise. There's going to be probably a bigger change in our clients from purely focusing on efficiencies to more to resilience, which means, and sustainability. So that means roles may be changing and structures will change to focus more on agility moving forward to address these probably, which may be ongoing black swans and unpredictable types of challenges. That means a lesser focus on roles and a probably stronger emphasis on skill sets. We can support this area in terms of building skill sets among our client staffing. Probably going to be more complexity because agencies and companies may merge or acquire. So they diversify, manage risk, and in some cases, they simply to survive. And so the time now is everyone has had these strategies that were developed probably in the last years, 5-year plans, 10-year plans. It's going to be definitely now time to relook at how this is going to work post-pandemic. And so trends in consultants, 5 of them here. The need for tailor-made solutions, off-the-shelf sorts of things are going to be less and less valuable, and industry know-how will be key. And those together will be very important. Clients are going to want to see that you have experience in their industry and looking for tailor-made solutions. You're going to need to be able to focus on linking strategies, if you're working in that area, to more immediate operations and results, no longer 5 years, 10 years sorts of outcomes. People are going to be much more immediate focused. Becoming a sparring partner, what this means is you need to engage your clients to test what their hypotheses are. If you see things that probably aren't going to work, you have to be kind of a devil's advocate and support them in trying to achieve what they are, as opposed to just going along with what they say they need. And then finally, more and more with the information technology explosion, all our clients are getting more and more data. They're collecting more and more data. And so a strong value for consultants will be those who can provide insights and analysis of the huge amounts of data that the clients have developed, so to help them make decisions about how to become more effective as they're going forward. Now, positioning your own practice for professional success, just a few minutes on this. I look at types of consulting practices in 3 ways. Obviously, we all support client demands, so we have successful engagements. But along with this, I see the types of consulting as those built around expertise, those built around experience, and those built around providing efficiency to our clients. And then to take a look then, expertise then is tied to people who have really developed great expertise, either through their academic practice primarily, or such as engineers, scientists, people who have or gained great experience through real practical applications, so that there's probably few of these in a specific area, but they're very, very good at what they do. Then you have experience-based practice, people who have been in an industry for many years. And so they've developed, by having worked with many clients over similar situations over time, sometimes across industries. They bring experience of best practices and how things can be done. And finally, I call the efficiency-based practice. This is tied to those kind of things in the company that the company, it's fairly straightforward what needs to be done. They're looking to find ways to improve it, either to lower costs or to increase throughput, customer satisfaction, and these sorts of things. And so these three ways are types of consulting practices, and it's useful for you to think about how you want to position yourself. And so if we look at these as a spectrum of practice, we have basically the expertise, which are the brains, you could say, approach, to the experience, the gray hairs, and then the efficiency, which is tied to improved procedures generally. And so as you see in these different areas, you have different kinds of approaches there. High diagnosis in expertise, you really have to figure out exactly what the problem is. And if you have expertise, you might solve it then. Where efficiency, the problem is usually quite clear. So really where your challenge is high execution, getting the job done quickly and at a good cost. Expertise, highly customized, where efficiency, it's basically programmatic. It's fairly straightforward. It's more of an implementation and getting everyone doing the same thing. Expertise, typically experts are dealing with a high client risk area. That's why they're bringing in expertise. There's generally a few people who can do this work. And as a result, you can demand higher fees for that work, even though you probably have fewer engagements. On the efficiency side, then generally it's a lower client risk. They're basically know what the problem is. They're just trying to improve and save money, these sorts of things. There might be many qualified consultants and vendors, and therefore there's a high fee sensitivity there. Now, in the gray hair area, experience-wise, this is a possibility for moving between these, whereas you can handle issues that in some cases you might have certain expertise in some things, and so you'll move into this area. And other cases, you would have good knowledge based on many years of experience on how to improve efficiencies and good cost controls. And so you're able to move between these. Typically, though, you're focusing on more of a specific, what I could call an industry or sector, whether that be government, whether that be finance or construction, engineering, agriculture, these sorts of things. So the decision now coming out of this is, where are you in terms of how do you want to position your practice, your consulting practice going forward? And then having taken a look at this, then it's time to maybe take a look at your marketing materials, consider who in fact your potential clients will be and how you address them. And with this then is a possibility to move forward and to addressing the trends that we saw earlier, to assist the clients going forward in these new ways. And so what I see as we're coming out of this, it's as much as anything an opportunity for consultants to have taken time to either during this time to study and build your knowledge and expertise, to even in some cases take a rest so that you have new energies. And now as we're moving forward then to strike anew and to build on those relationships that you have had established and to develop new ones. So this, I only had a short 15 minutes today to talk about this. I hope it was helpful, and I appreciate your attention. And I wish you luck now as we move into 2021 and the future years. And I hope to see you again my next visit to Rwanda. Thank you.